All right, moving on to interim town manager report.
The Select Board's resolution requesting the emergency declaration with respect to Neshoba Valley Medical Center was submitted to a wide variety of state offices, and upon the suggestion of one of our representatives, was forwarded to additional state officials. I don't know if you see it, but the Commissioner of the Department of Public Health did declare yesterday that this hospital provides essential public medical services. To what extent that will impact things, it's hard to say. Certainly the delegation continues to push. The state has taken extraordinary action with one, taking it by eminent domain to sell it. And there's remaining hopes that something yet can be found here. I want to follow up on the Agricultural Commission. We did give them authority to use the space between the Adult Activity Center and the TC Passios building for their ag, provided they participate in pre-event planning with our public safety officials, police, fire, making sure the tents are appropriate, electrical's appropriate, and the like. They have been talking about a vendor applying to the Select Board for a one-day liquor license. That remains to be seen. If they do, you'd actually have two actions, one to grant the license and the second to allow them to serve on public property as the property owner, in conformance with your open container bylaw. I'd like to recognize Judith Ernst for her service on the Cultural Council. I know she wasn't there, my understanding is, for a lengthy time, but we appreciate the service of each and every volunteer. I'm not going to belabor the list of vacancies that we have, except to say that we did pick up one vacancy on the Stormwater Task Force. And on the Sewer Commission, I'll be meeting with them tomorrow night. It's rumored they have some possible candidates, and if they do, if they don't, I will be penning a letter in conjunction with the remaining members to everyone in the sewer district, pointing out that their service relies upon people being on this commission, and encouraging one or more to get involved. So we'll wait another week or so on that, but I've talked with Bill, I talked with one of the commissioners today. That seemed to be received favorably.
Mr. Chair, I just want to clarify, when you say we picked up a vacancy, I'm not sure, did we get one more vacancy, or we filled the position, we got one less vacancy?
I'm sorry, we have received a resignation which triggers one additional vacancy.
Oh, so we actually added, okay, so when you said we picked up a vacancy, the vacancy's increased?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
I just wanted to
sorry
make sure,
about
because I
that.
didn't understand. Thank you.
We have begun the process. I met with Kara McCarty, if I'm saying it correctly, and she has started to develop a form which can be filled in online and signed electronically, so people can then just send it to us electronically, and, attach a resume. We want to try to bring us a little bit more forward. In the meantime, interested persons can find the volunteer application on the town's website, and I'm going to make an offer that if anyone has any question about any of the commissions, you come on in and meet with me, and if I can't answer your question, I'll get you connected with the chairman of that commission or the staff member, whatever it is, because I understand everyone is short of time. And if you're concerned at all about how much time something might take, by all means, we want to try to assure you of that you could take on this additional responsibility. The network administrator, we're still trying to get those interviews set up. The chief tells me he has a number of applications for public safety desk clerk that look good to him. He'll be scheduling interviews, I'm told, over the next few days. We're looking for additional seasonal cemetery labor. I'm afraid that the one we did appoint worked a little bit and then went MIA on us. Administrative assistant, we made an offer that was rejected. We'll keep working on that. I am pleased to tell you that I have what I think, light a candle, final interview for land use director tomorrow. We do have a small practical exercise we've set up for them. We'll hand them some plans and ask them to do a quick site plan review. And we've invited a representative from the planning board, the Concom, and the ZBA to observe those interviews, and I'll collect their thoughts afterwards as to what their reaction was. And that is my practice going forward on department heads, to involve user agencies. I do always have to point out, as I've told you a couple times, it's not necessarily a democracy, it's my name that has to go on the memo at the end. But I think getting their insights is important, and so that will be my practice for the time I'm with you. Our assessor's data collector did start this morning, had her onboarding. Linda's very pleased. She seems to be settling in quickly. And with respect to the sewer business manager, I will be meeting with the sewer commission tomorrow night. We've put forth a name for their consideration and ratification, and I've agreed to go down and meet with them at their 6 p.m. meeting. And we made an offer on the conservation administrative assistant, which has been accepted at this point in time and is going through its final background checks. We'll have that for you. So, yes, we have more vacancies than we care for, but we're making progress, and I think that's important. On the procurement front, we're getting bids on the roof at the Adult Activity Center. They're due next week. We've given you the timeline for the historic property survey. Town manager recruitment services, we sent that to the chair of the screening committee. As of this afternoon, we hadn't received any comments, but we did let them know that if there were some, we could get it adjusted tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll get that out.
We did meet last night, and we did approve it as a committee, so Mr. Murphy, who's the chair of that committee, should be getting that to you, because we did agree on, they were very minor changes.
Okay, good. So we'll hold that to get Mr. Murphy's comments in the morning then. I am, we've given the link for state training. It's a video webinar kind of module, but Julie will be taking the OSD, the Office of Operational Services Division, for the state bid, how to use that, and as soon as she's completed that and just a little more comfortable with it, we'll get the bids for the library shades. I did attend the budget task force, although I understand I sent the thunderstorms that disrupted my internet south. I think Member Emke said that as soon as she got my text that I'd lost my internet, the flash of light was in her window. We did do the final interviews, Mr. Bernard, Julie, and myself, and we'll have that in front of you on September 3rd. We spent some time, although I feel like the guy whose dog ate his homework, something happened to one of my memos, but when we get to ARPA, I think that the spreadsheets will work well on it. The good news is, or the bad news, depending upon how you look at it, is you have a little more money to spend than we initially thought. I did meet with Suzor. They have a weekly IT meeting. I sat in on that. I pushed them on two fronts. One, they said that our server was built to Munis's specifications. I've asked them to send those specs right back and certify that indeed, because the server was prepared before you did your software update, to make sure that the software or that the server fits everything required by that software update. I want to make sure they didn't send us something and there's something not quite right. We have started to look, you have 110 users licensed using your Munis software. And we have a considerable number of people who have licenses on our Office 365. Z and I agree that it's time to go through those lists and make sure. I'm not convinced that every time somebody leaves us, we decommission them, and so we need to see where that